report. Chairman, we're ready whenever you are.
Okay. Perfect. I just had to hit it. Got it on the deal. That's interactive. All right. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's call this meeting to order. Appreciate everybody's time showing up and being where you're at remotely. I think we've got the Zoom stuff all figured out. And then we're going to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Jim Snyder, can you start us off and give us a little bit of time to get up and computer lag a little? Whenever you're ready, Jim.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America. One nation. For liberty and justice for all. Good, that wasn't too bad. Perfect, thank you very much, I appreciate it. We're gonna do real quick a moment of silent reflection. You can sit.
Did you check with people in accounting already?
No, I haven't heard.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you very much, everybody. What we're going to do for roll call first is we're going to start in Reno and then we'll work our way around. And Sam, please do your best. We're going to do board members first, please. And then after the board members, then we're going to do Nevada Department Ag staff that are administrators and directors that are there. Because I know we've got a handful of people will be going through the whole list. So if we could do that, I appreciate it. Let's start off with board members. Please state your name and what industry you represent. And we'll start in Reno.
You're the first base.
Mr. Jim Snyder,
Jim Snyder, Lyon County row crops. Church or
sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Mr. Charlie Frey,
Charlie Bray, Churchill County crops.
Miss Heather Lackey. I'm sorry, Dr. Craig Shank,
Yes.
Craig Shank representing, I guess, Churchill County and veterinarians.
Miss Valerie Drake,
Valerie Drake, Humboldt County Petroleum Industry.
Mr. Bernard Peterson,
Bernard Peterson, White Pine County, semi-range cattle production.
Mr. Pete Harris,
Pete Paris, Elko County, Nevada wool growers.
Mr. Dwayne Coombs, Mr. Paul No,
Paul No, Clark County, nursery industry.
Mr. Dave Kuhn,
Dave Coon, Clark County, dairy industry.
Chairman Woody Worthington.
Woody Worthington, General Ag Chairman, the Board of Ag.
Chairman, I'm going to start with NDA staff if you're okay with that.
Perfect, go ahead.
Administrator Doug Harris,
Present.
Deputy Director Jerry Conrad,
Present.
Administrator Bill Strajewski,
Present.
Administrator Patricia Hoppy,
Present.
Administrator Amara,
Here.
Deputy Administrator Megan Brown,
Here.
Chairman, that concludes the roll call for Samantha Bellwood, Executive Assistant. That concludes the roll call for the NDA staff.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And we have Richard out there in from District Attorney's Office, correct?
From the Attorney General's office, yes,
Or,
President.
sorry, Attorney General. Sorry, my bad. It's been a long flight. We'll get through this. Thank you so much, Richard, for coming. I appreciate it. I'm sure you'll keep us where we need to go.
Sure.
All right. Thank you very much. Samantha, can you go ahead?
Ms. Heather Lackey is here as well.
Oh, perfect. Hey, Heather.
Good morning.
Awesome. Thank you for taking note of that. I appreciate it. Samantha, can you do me a favor? We have the agenda in front of us. Can you go over a little bit on public comment before we get started, please?
So if you are joining us here in any of the offices, I don't see that we have anybody in Elko, and Chairman, I can't see your entire room. If there's anybody there, other than you and Mr. Coombe, is there anybody in the Sparks office that would like to make public comment? If you are joining us online on Zoom, if you would like to make public comment, you can hover over your name and you should be able to raise your hand if you would like to make public comment. Chairman, I did get a request from Mr. Griggs that he would like to make public comment, and he is joining us online.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and hear that public comment. Let's keep it to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm John Griggs from Maggie Creek Ranch up in Elko, speaking to you today on behalf of the Nevada Cattlemen's Association. And 3 minutes is a lifetime for me, so no worries there. We are pleased with the governor's suggestion for the director in Dr. Gokuchia. I personally have known the good doctor for way longer than I probably want to admit to, or that he wants me to admit to. I know him to be very collaborative in nature. I am really confident that you all as the board and you, Mr. Chairman, will enjoy a very productive relationship with him. He has the necessary experience, not only in the animal ag side of agriculture, but in general ag as well. He definitely has the institutional knowledge within the department to hit the ground running and do a good job there. And we certainly hope that you all will approve his nomination as director. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Do we have anything, and nobody here in Las Vegas for public comment? Samantha, anybody else?
I currently do not see any hands raised online for public comment. I do
Perfect.
have people joining by phone, but I do not see anyone asking to make public comment at this time.
Did we have a public comment that was emailed to us?
Oh, yes, we did receive a public comment online from Brian Markowski. Would you like me to read that?
That would be awesome. Thank you, Samantha.
Hello, my public comment. Would someone please explain why the Nevada FSA has the lowest number of awarded USDA operating and microloans across the United States when you look at the program data? That completes his public comment.
Perfect. Is there any more other public comment? All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and close the first public comment and move right into agenda item number 3, Nevada Department of Agriculture Director of Applicant. Just give you the board members kind of an idea of what's going to go down today, how we're going to handle it. I'm going to go over, do some housekeeping items and kind of go over some NRSs specifically for the director's position. Next, we'll go ahead and I'll open it up to the industry to add a couple questions and maybe a statement for each industry leader. I know we're professional leaders, so let's make sure that we keep within our professionalism and not ask personal questions. But I know we have Richard there, so he'll definitely take care of us if we're not on the right direction. So, and then from there, we'll keep it short and sweet. And then once we have all our questions and statements done, then as a board, we will have an action item. So let's get started off real quick. I want to clarify real quick and appreciate Governor Joe Lombardo for providing JJ Kokachia for the nomination for the Director of Ag position. So get that out there. And then I would like to move right into NRS appointments and the specific guidelines in regards to appointment of the director. NRS 56115 must be appointed for the board with approval of the governor. So that is what we're doing today. And then number 2 is the unclassified service of the state. So and then we have another NRS, which is 561.125. It's qualifications as the director must be graduate from accredited college or university and have at least 5 years experience in official agriculture or livestock regulatory work, public administration, accounting, or business and administration. We'll move down to NRS 561.135. The salary of the director may be apportionate and paid for any money available to the department unless otherwise provided by specific names. And then the NRS 561.145 basically goes over general powers of the duty. And we'll cover that real quick. The director shall direct and supervise all administrative and technical activities of the department and all programs administered by the department as provided by law, except as otherwise provided in NRS 284.143. The director shall devote his or her entire time to the duties of the director's office and shall follow no other gainful employment or occupation. The director may, within such limitations as may be provided by law and from time to time, alter the organization of the department and reassign responsibilities and duties as the director may deem appropriate. Number 3, the director shall coordinate the activities of the division of the department, report the board upon all matters pertaining to the administration of the department. So that's basically just covers quite a bit of the roles and responsibilities and the general powers of them. And then NRS goes in and talks about 561.146 issuance of enforcement of subpoenas. NRS 561.147 talks about prohibition and restriction to movement, invested article and treatment, and devitalized, sterilized, invested of article. NRS 561.148, participation in investigations and prosecution of theft, destruction of livestock, and inspections. NRS 561.149 is dispositions. NRS 561 talks about 1.153 prescription and fees to cover costs and providing certain services, products, and publication procedures for billing and collecting fees. NRS 561 is specific. 155 is specific on ex officio state sealer and measurements of standards as a director. NRS 561.165 also ex officio state quarantine officer as the director. And NRS 561.185 designations of power and duties of the deputy. The director may designate an employee of the department to act as a director deputy in case of the absence of the director or the director's inability from any cause to discharge the powers and duties of his or her office. Those powers and duties devolve upon the director's deputy. So that's kind of basically a gist of it. JJ, Dr. Kokachia, if you would please go to the table there. So I'm going to start off with my questions and a couple of statements. That's a lot of the NRS, as you can tell, it's very specific and laid out, kind of as your duties and responsibilities for that. I do want to mention personally, I appreciate Dr. Kokachia coming in and supporting us as you have for years as the interim vet, as the state vet too as well. We appreciate what you do. It's a lot of responsibility. So Real quick, I have my first couple questions as I laid out a lot of the NRSs and stuff like that. One of my questions, I was going through your resume. My biggest concern, or one of my questions is, you're well aware of the job descriptions and the duties per the NRS, correct?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. And then, as far as, your vested interest, 100%, JJ, where are you at with that? Can you explain, your role and responsibility as the director?
Can you repeat that, Woody? You're kind of.
Am I broken up? Yeah, I just want to say what, my question is how vested will you be as the director, of that, for this position?
Okay, so yeah, no, this will be 100% of what I will dedicate myself to. I will be resigning, should you guys vote in the affirmative. I will be resigning as county commissioner. I'm in my 11th year now there, so I am in my final term, so I will be resigning that. I'm also currently as the interim state veterinarian. I will be resigning as that through a manpower contract. I will continue to fulfill those duties while we find a suitable replacement. I will be closing Eureka Veterinary Service due to some health problems. That's not really that big of a issue right now. The back and the shoulders don't seem to take it anymore. So that will be gone as well, and everything else associated with that. So this will be my employment, and I will seek no other gainful employment.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate that clarification, Dr. Kokuchia. My other question is, if the board decides to select you today, what is going to be one of your first goals you'd like to accomplish?
First goals I would like to accomplish. Well, the first thing we have to accomplish, Mr. Chairman, is we've got to fill some vacant administrator seats. Number one, and then we've got to get into the budget. As you well know, we're entering a legislative cycle, and we are about 3 weeks away from having some very tough questions on what our budget is going to look like. And so that my first goal is to get headfirst into that and to get the administrators positions filled that are currently vacant.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And like I said, personally, I just appreciate what you've done for the state of Nevada. As you can tell, everybody's everywhere. Agriculture is all around the state of Nevada and what you've done and supported. So those questions and my statement is done. I'm ready to, Samantha, let's go ahead and start. We'll go to Elko, we'll go north and work our way down. Pete Paris, and please ask the questions specifically what's important to you, your industry, or your statement, and we'll keep it as brief as we can, but it's important that every industry leader has their time. So go ahead, Pete Paris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Breaking up on me. I don't know if it's my feed or is it the feed coming from your side? I don't know. We have brand new internet here, but I'm not 100% sure whether it's our side of the world or yours, but once in a while, some of the stuff.
Did he freeze up on your end, Samantha?
And he did freeze up on my end.
Okay.
Oh, there he is. If you, Mr. Paris, sometimes if you turn off your video, that helps with your bandwidth as well.
You mean my?
Yeah, your video on your end.
That one?
Yes,
there we
sir.
go. Perfect.
Okay. All right. Well, Pete Paris for Nevada Wool Growers Association. I don't have a lot of questions. I've known JJ since, like some people say, longer than I want to admit. He's been in our background for quite a while, so I think I understand most of his positions. Excited to get some agriculture involved. You know, somebody that's very involved in agriculture. I know JJ's, been a huge supporter of agriculture. He's donated a lot of his life for the industry more than he has for himself. We're also neighbors. I know that JJ does a lot for the industry and sacrifices his own. So I really don't have a question for you, JJ, because I think I know all the answers, but if you have a question for me, I'd welcome that entertainment. Or I know you know what the Nevada wool growers need and want, and I know your family's born and raised in it, so I guess I just don't have a question for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paris. And yeah, I'm aware of, you know, the continued decline of Nevada's sheep industry, and that is definitely something that concerns us all. We all remember, you know, what it was like not that long ago, 30, 40 years ago, how much better it was. So I am committed to work with the wool growers and try to meet all of those needs. You know, I've regularly attended your annual meetings, your annual breakfast meetings, and a lot of the problems are not going away, but let's hope we can't. Maybe we can find a way to cut some of those off.
Well, thank you. One comment I would say though, just to, I can't not make a plug that I understand you know it too, but predator control in the state of Nevada is good for all the industries, whether it's livestock, wildlife, and especially the sheep industry. And that I'm hoping to see a new working relationship with the U.S. Department of Ag on that program to make that run smoothly. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paris.
Thank you, Pete. Samantha, who do we have next?
Joining from Eastern Nevada, we have Mr. Peterson.
Perfect. Bernard Peterson, go ahead.
Good morning. This is Bernard Peterson for the record. I have just a couple of short and concise comments about Mr. Gokachia. Myself, like others, I have a long relationship with him, more than a decade now, and I've reviewed his bio. I do and understand his state participation, with the NCA, his contribution to the NCBA in the cattle industry, his long-term commitment to Eureka County as a commissioner and chair on that board. My only real concerns were personnel management and big budget management. I know Eureka County has given him the opportunity to see some bigger budgets in his own personal budget. So I think with his gross experience managing his own business, managing Eureka County, and then his national exposure in the NCBA and the NCA, I think JJ is a fantastic candidate for this position. He may need some, I do realize that he's got some good support around him. He's got the board, and he's got a lot of good division directors. So if he's willing to work with them, I think we've got some positive things coming. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mr. Peterson. Who do we have next, Sam?
Chairman, I have Mr. Coombs, who has joined us on Zoom.
Awesome. Well, I'm sorry. That's John. Well, I appreciate. Who was that, Sam? Sorry.
Go ahead, Mr. Coombs.
Okay, yeah, well, I appreciate the opportunity to chime in. I apologize, I'm a little late coming on. I was trying to hit reception. But as far as a statement, I've worked with Mr. Gokachia for I've known him and dealt with him and worked with him for almost the 25 years I've been here in Nevada, and wholeheartedly in support. I feel like I'm excited about the opportunity to focus our ag department back into a little more into rural Nevada. And I think that JJ understands that agriculture is really the backbone of rural Nevada. The other industries come and go, but agriculture is always there, and that's what sustains these local communities. And look forward to working with you, JJ, here, and in full support.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. That was clear, loud and clear. Who else do we have, Sam?
If you would like to continue, Chairman, with people that are joining online, Mr. Paul No.
Perfect. Yes, Paul, go ahead.
Yes, I'm actually familiar with JJ's work as well, being on the board as long as I have been. Worked with him before and appreciated everything that he has contributed, and I think he's an excellent choice.
Do you have any questions for him?
No, I think everything has been asked that I would have asked, so I think we're covered.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Who else do we have out there?
Chairman, that was everybody joining from online. Would you like to start in the Las Vegas office or start here in Sparks?
We could do Vegas. It's just us lonely two here. So now you're up. Go ahead. Yeah. Yes. Now, Coach. Yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity to express my views. Dave Kuhn for the record. I think that through my association with many within the industry that have had closer opportunities to work with Dr. Gochia is where I base my opinion of his ability and his willingness to serve. And they have all been positive. I know that he has a well-deserved high regard and respect of those of us in the industry. And I'm sure that he has an understanding of those things that need to be handled and taken care of within the department. So I certainly lend my support, and I don't have any specific questions. But again, grateful for the opportunity to express my views.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's it for Vegas. What do you got there in Reno? Let's hear it.
We can start with Miss Valerie Drake. Oh, sorry.
I do have a question. Where are you going to be relocating the Sparks Reno area?
Yeah, so in fact, depending on the vote, Mr. Chair, through you to Board Member Drake, yes, in fact, depending on how the vote goes, I will be looking at a place to rent this afternoon.
Okay. And also, I just would like to say, if you do get voted in, I'd like to see a little better response and communication to the citizens of Nevada concerning issues and problems. I feel like, you know, just in the couple of years I've been on, not a lot gets answered from them, even from my areas. Weed control, warming crickets, we have citizens that tell me they call and they don't get any kind of response. So otherwise than that, but thank you.
Yes, ma'am, and rest assured that you may get tired of hearing from me. If I'm getting calls from constituents, I'm making calls back to board members, to local county commissions, and I'm making visits. So, and so hopefully I don't overwhelm you, but you are going to get a lot more information.
Awesome, thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Heather Lackey, representing pest control for Douglas County. So I have to say that I was pleasantly surprised when I saw JJ's name come up on the application. I've had the opportunity of working with him over the last 6 years under some pretty tight situations. I've seen him work under pressure, and I've seen him have some excellent leadership skills. The only thing I was concerned with is he's so busy with so many things, if he'd be able to take some irons out of the fire. And it looks like he's already dedicated himself to that. He's ready to move to our area. And I can't say enough about JJ myself. I think that he would be a fantastic director for us. And I've spoken with a few people in industry, and everyone else that I've spoken with seems to feel the same way, of course. And I think he would be a fantastic applicant. I think he should definitely be our director. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Craig Shank, Mr. Chairman, I'm new to the board, so if I do something wrong, just throw something at me, but I guess I can also vouch for Dr. Gochia. I first met him when he moved to the state. I gave him an opportunity to practice in Round Mountain, Nevada. I think I just handed over a whole pile of records and said, God bless you. You know, he's had integrity. I appreciate him, and I had no idea that he was even on the docket today. So I was teasing him about being a state veterinarian.
I guess if I had a question, what is going to be the time frame in finding another state veterinarian?
Sure. So the process will be, Dr. Shank that, I guess that's going to depend on when you guys want me to take the seat. If you do vote in the affirmative, we're going to need a few days. I've got to terminate my contract with Manpower as your interim state vet. I've got to resign as a county commissioner, but those need to line up with my start here, so I don't have a break in service. I'll be completely honest. I don't want to jeopardize my PERS that I've beat my head against the wall for over 10 years to get to that point. So, but once that is done, we will open that position for advertisement, and we will move just as quickly as we can find a viable candidate and a good candidate that we want for the state vet. It is going to be probably a little bit different in that I can keep the oars in the water for a little bit. I don't want to get in a hurry, and I don't want to make a bad choice in 2 weeks, but I do want to have somebody in here if we can 30, 45 days, because there's a lot of work to get done. I don't want to do it both.
Thank you.
Right.
Charlie Frey. First of all, I'd like to thank Dr. JJ that he is really nice that you applied for this position. I really appreciate it, but my main concern is the finances. We as a board have not had any information given to us about budget comparisons. And so my main concern is, since the board is responsible for the department, we need to have good, solid financial information coming to the board so we can be apprised of what we should do if there's a problem with not meeting the budget requirements. Thank you, JJ, very much.
Mr. Frey, duly noted, and we will work to that end and provide regular backups to you. I've already had some conversations with some staff, and probably rather than doing 5 divisions at every meeting, we'd probably break those up and do a couple of divisions at each one.
Right.
So we're not overwhelmed, and to spread that workload out, but that is a goal of mine as well, sir.
Thank you.
And Mr. Stein?
Yes, I want to say I'm appreciative to the governor for and excited to have such a quality candidate as Dr. Gokachia. I appreciate your background, experience, your demonstrated commitment to agriculture. And I'm excited for the potential for new direction and energy in the department. My one question is for our legal counsel. Are we not required to do a more complete recruitment or anything like that? Not that I need it, I just want to make sure we are within our legal bounds.
Right,
Richard.
Richard Yen from the Attorney General's office. So the statute just it requires a 2-prong. The governor needs to approve of the candidate, and then the board needs to appoint that person. How you all decide to go about doing that, you can, if as a group you wanted to open it up and consider other candidates. As I understand in this case, the governor took the first step to reach out to the board and presented a candidate, and you can consider that applicant today, approve him today. If you wanted to talk about opening it up to other candidates, you can certainly do that as well. That is within the discretion of the board.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Thank you for that question and that clarification. I appreciate that, Mr. Schneider. Absolutely. Anybody else we have?
So we can hire immediately, is that
So here's the next step. So it's an action item. So as a board, and I appreciate everybody's comments, and it's very important that everybody has representation of their industry, and I appreciate your questions and your comments. So it's an action item. So from here, as a board, we say yes, we want to approve Dr. JJ Gogachia, or no, we don't. And then if he is approved at that point, we forward it up to the governor. And then the governor for approval at that point. So however, I'm not sure how fast it'll go or what will be done, but I know we appreciate Jerry supporting as the deputy director, his covering that role too. So there's no real specific, it's politic. I don't know, at the end of the day, the government, how long it's going to be, but it should be relatively quick, I think, right, Sam?
I believe, Mr. Yen can speak to this too, but it's my understanding that if it were to be approved today, Dr. Goycochea would be the director as of today.
Perfect. So it's up to the board now to make that determination.
Can I make a motion?
There's a motion on the floor. Yes, let me hear it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. We said,
Go ahead and make your motion.
oh, I would like to make a motion that we bring Dr. JJ Goycochea on as our director.
I second.
Okay, so man, I thought technology is good. I got a first and a second for Dr. Goycochea to be the director. Is that what I heard?
Correct, Chairman.
Awesome. So all in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed, say nay. All right, so congratulations, Mr. Dr. Goycochea. We will put our approval through to the governor, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members of the board. Hopefully I do not disappoint. I don't plan on it.
Find a place to hang your hat now.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Before we conclude, we still have public comment that we need to go over. But once again, like I said, I appreciate the board's decision and how important it is as we move on. So do we have public comment out there, Sam?
I have.
I'm sorry. It's
Leanne.
Leanne.
You have public comment, Chair.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Thank you, JJ. Thank you. Thank you, board. Thank you, Lombardo. Thank you, Nevada. And thank you for Pete for having JJ. Thank you.
He likes you.
Do we have anybody? Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Ms. Lee and Carrie. Is there anybody else out there for public comment?
Remember, if anybody would like to make public comment and they're joining us, should be able to raise your hand. If you would like to make public comment as well. If you're joining us by phone, please let me know if you would like to make public comments. Chairman, I do not see any hands raised or anyone else requesting to make public comment at this time.
Perfect. Does someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a first and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed, say nay. All right, so move. Thank you, guys. I'll try to get back to Reno later on today. Thank you very much for your time and looking forward to 2023. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for running.